Simran, how would you bridge the gap between rural and urban women in India?
I think bridging the gap between rural and urban women in India is something to achieve by connecting women with each other. I believe we all women have the same power and the same ability to reach our goals as well for the rural and the modern woman. We all women have our feminine side, and by staying connected to each other, empowering each other, we can bridge that gap easily. Thank you.
Good answer. Couple of things which we have already spoken about, and you really need to work on, Simran. Eye contact. Throughout your answer, you were looking at some wall or someone somewhere else except me. But if you're talking to me, I want you to look at me. Okay? Secondly, you still sound very unsure of yourself. I like that you took a pause in the beginning to think about your answer, especially you would, because I could see that you weren't expecting such a question. You were taken aback, but don't let that come to your face. You need to learn to mask your fear or any emotion there. Okay? Smile. How do you do that? By smiling. Fake a smile. Stand there, smile as you're thinking about your answer, and then begin. Again, you began with I think, so change that to I believe. Okay? Will come with practice. Don't be hard on yourself. Something we all do. It's so ingrained in our memory that we tend to say I think. So just consciously start practicing this. And finally, I found that the answer was good, but somewhere incomplete. How do you connect the women? So you said that it is every woman anywhere, regardless of whether she's in a rural area or in the urban, we can help empower all of them by connecting them. But how? Use the tools you have available today. Digital India is the answer. Okay, or AI is the answer. Digitization is the answer, whatever you may use. Okay, storytelling may be the answer, or maybe NGOs may be the answer. Okay, using the power of our voices as urban women who have access to social media to use our voices to bring awareness to women in rural areas and bringing their stories to light. That may be the answer. But you need to give the how, because the question is incomplete. The answer is incomplete until you have explained yourself. So for me, your answer was great to begin with, but left me wondering how. Okay. So again, concluding, eye contact, confidence, smile, and just a more well-rounded answer. Yeah? Okay. Next, Tanishka.
Number 22.
Okay. Tanishka, what does success mean to you beyond titles and crowns?
I believe that when we often talk about success, it's usually how much money do you earn, or how beautiful do you look, or how famous you are. But according to me, true success means how much, rather than looking at all about yourself, it means how much are you giving back? How much have you given back to the society? When you're looking back at your life, you feel content and at peace that you have done something back to the people who really, really need it. And to me, um, success means to just be content and peaceful within yourself at the end of the day. Thank you.
Okay. I love the answer again. Beautiful answer. Where I would ask you to work on, Tanishka, is your confidence again, that while you took time to think about your answer, which is good, the answer itself came out still a little bit unsure. When you speak, your words need to sound more clear and confident. Each word needs to be pronounced and spoken with a little bit more impact. Right now, to me, you sounded your answer was great, but it sounded less in confidence. There was a lot of unsurety in your answer. I think once you found your answer, you were very sure. But until you found your answer, you were still rambling in your head. The moment you said it's about giving back, that's when I saw the confidence and impact coming in. Until then, you were like, I'm not quite sure where I'm going with this. So that came through. Again, coming back to what I said with Simran, how do you mask your unsurety? Smile. It's a very simple tool. Use it. Smile. Secondly, eye contact. You're still looking everywhere. Your eyes are like bobbing around from left to right to top to down. Look at the judge. Look at the judge. Okay. And other than that, quite all right. Well concluded, rounded answer. Okay. Navya. Navya, should influencers be held accountable for promoting fairness creams and unrealistic beauty standards?
Well, I believe the influencers should not recommend or promote such creams and such products to the audience as they watch them very religiously. They are fans, and there are many people who just trust them blindly, and that's why it's their responsibility. That's what influencer means, that they influence the people in a right way, in a right manner. And I believe that influencers should always help their audience to be better and to shape the world, because they have such a power, they have such an ability that they are famous and they can just speak for themselves, speak for the people, and stage the points and in the right places, and they can bring a huge change in the community.
Okay, well answered. I like your answer. Really strong answer. Except that I think you found your voice again somewhere in the middle. You were very strong there. Until then, you were a little bit unsure. And the moment you found your voice, you should have stuck to that.
Yeah.
You again began to ramble after. You said one statement, you said it beautifully, because influencer in itself means influencing or something like that. That was very powerful. Then you lost yourself. I don't know why, because you got unsure or you suddenly lost clarity. I'm not sure, but that part was very, very well delivered. So practice with that in mind.
Oh.
Smile and eye contact. You did better with eye contact this time, but still looking like you're not smiling, not sure of yourself or scared because you're not smiling. So girls, really practice smiling, smiling, smiling. It may seem weird, but I'll tell you what, it really has an impact. Like many times I'm sitting on my laptop and I'm working, I'm not smiling. My husband comes and asks me, why are you so angry? I'm not angry, I'm just focused. But when we are not smiling, we can look angry, we can look like we are frowning, we are upset. To hide that, a smile can be a very powerful way of saying that I'm comfortable, I'm calm, I'm composed, I am confident. And a smiling face is very pleasant to look at. So just don't forget that. On stage, smile. Okay. Even if you're just standing on stage and not speaking, standing like this versus standing like this, there's a big difference. So smile. Okay. Even when you're receiving the question and you're listening, smile. Make it a habit to smile. Okay. Last one, Nisha.
Hello.
Yes. Give me a number.
21.
Okay. Nisha, this is a very nice question. What advice would you give to your 13-year-old self?
To myself,
What advice would you give to your 13-year-old self? आप अपने younger self को, अपने 13-year-old self को क्या advice देना चाहोगे?
okay, fine. 13 years old, वापस लौटना, that would be amazing. I mean, जो मैंने किया था वो आई वॉज मोर देन हैप्पी। लेकिन अभी मुझे अगर एडवाइस देनी हो तो मुझे लगेगा कि मुझे सिर्फ अपनी लाइफ जीनी है, बच्चों को बच्चों की तरह रहना है, मेच्योर नहीं बनना है, और बस और एक अच्छी बेटी बनना है। आई थिंक उस टाइम हम पैम्पर हो गए थे, जिद्दी हो गए थे, तो अब वो चीजें नहीं रिपीट करनी है और जस्ट फुल लाइफ एंजॉय करनी है 13 ईयर ओल्ड के हिसाब से। थैंक यू सो मच।
Okay. I like that you smiled throughout. आपने सही से वो बहुत प्यारी तरह से स्माइल करके वो आंसर दिया. Your stance, you maintained all of that. So you're listening to the feedback and taking it in. Very nice. आपने अपना आंसर भी शॉर्ट एंड स्वीट रखा. अभी आप सिर्फ इस पे काम करो कि अपने आंसर्स को और थोड़ा क्लियरली एक्सप्लेन करो. अभी भी जैसे लास्ट टाइम भी हुआ था, आई वाज लिटिल अनश्योर कि आपने एक्चुअली आंसर क्या दिया. ये क्लैरिटी आपके आंसर में थोड़ी और आनी चाहिए. आप अपने फैमिली मेंबर्स के साथ ये प्रैक्टिस करो तो वो आपको ये फीडबैक दे पाएंगे. इफ यू प्रैक्टिस जस्ट बाय योरसेल्फ मे बी यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड कि मैंने क्लियरली आंसर दिया या नहीं, बिकॉज आपके माइंड में वो क्लियर है. मगर आप किसी और से बात करोगे, किसी और को ये आंसर दोगे, तो वो आपको बता पाएंगे नहीं ये मुझे नहीं समझ आया, या ये मुझे समझ आया, या ये फिर से समझाओ, तो जस्ट क्लैरिटी पे काम करना. आपका स्टैंस और आपकी स्माइल सब सही है. और yeah, just you're doing well. You're doing very, very well. Just bring a little bit more clarity in your answer.
थैंक यू।
Okay, girls, we have already reached the time limit, but if you have any questions before we part, please let me know.
I had a question.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, what do you think would be like the ideal time that people should prepare for? Like, is there like a certain, like, for these many months, if you prepare, then you're like all set? Or,
Time to prepare or trying to give the answer on
or
stage?
no, time to prepare.
Look, that's a very individual thing. I know that your pageant is coming up just in a few days, so you don't have, you're going for the Miss India, right? If I'm not wrong, did I get that wrong? No, you're going for Miss
Oh,
Universe.
yeah.
You have plenty of time. You do have time until they start announcing the auditions again. So I don't think you need to worry. What you need to start doing is use at least 2 to 3 months ahead of your pageant to start writing your answers. But preparation is a non-stop thing. From today itself, start reading the news, start working on things like I think versus I believe, start working on your smile, start slowing down with your answers, pronouncing, enunciating, and pausing, things like that. How you can prepare is by watching TED Talks, by meditating, by bringing a mindset of gratitude, by working on your confidence, stance, eye contact, things like that. So this can take years and it can take months. The time to prepare is entirely up to you and how quick of a learner you may be, but no time is enough, I would think. Just start today.